bitter loss as you maybe experienced outside of the championship game last year, obviously? Regular season, maybe?
Yeah, definitely one of the more bitter ones.
I mean, you guys realized what was on the line there, I think, right? I mean, you knew that was kind of a game you really couldn't afford to lose, right?
I don't know how to answer that.
Well, you guys kind of knew how big that one was. Just what's the feeling to have let it gotten away on your home field?
Not a good feeling. So we'll, learn from it and got stuff to fix, but still got 5 more games. So, it's not a feeling of like, oh, wow, our season's over, but definitely disappointment. But we got another one coming up in 6 days.
A couple weeks ago, Dawson, we talked to you after the game, and you were kind of sitting there talking about, I got to make more plays for Josh. Did you feel like you kind of left him out there tonight?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely feel I want back. And, it's just got to control the things you can control. I can't be looking to make excuses on anything. So, yeah, definitely something I want back.
Josh was really gunning passes out there tonight, the way the wind was flowing. What was it like trying to catch those balls?
Like I just said, you can't make excuses. There were some that I should have had that I didn't. Obviously playing here, there's going to be outside factors, but you just got to control the things you can control because wind and rain and stuff, we can't, you can't stop that. So definitely some that I should have had that I want back.
I realize you're dealing with the elements, you're dealing with a top-flight defense. But what kind of kept you guys from really kind of kicking it into a rhythm that we're familiar to see with you guys?
Yeah, I think it's the familiar topic of shooting ourselves in the foot at inopportune times. There's no opportune time to shoot yourself in the foot. We just seem to tend to do it at the absolute worst time. So for us, like Dawson said, there's no finger pointing or nothing. Yeah, the only finger pointing you can do is inwards. And I think if you asked everyone on this team, there's plenty that they could have done to come out with a win, which we didn't do. And we'll learn, like every loss, we'll learn from a lot of these mistakes and go from there.
You guys moved the ball well enough to get in the red zone 3 times on your own. You got 1 time on a turnover. What happened down there that kind of made you stub your toe a little bit in terms of punching it in?
The red zone?
Yes.
Football is, the red zone percentage, being successful in red zone is a key factor in winning games along with turnovers. And when you lose either 2 of those, or you get the percentages that you need to, it becomes a very hard game to win. And like I said before, there's plenty of times for all of us to look intrinsically and see what we could have done better. And that's the frustrating thing.
Mitch, on a night like tonight when it's no secret that both sides are going to run the ball because of the weather, when they're able to have, and I know you're not out there playing defense, but when they're able to have the success that they're having, and offensively for you guys, you're not able to sort of match or exceed that, how frustrating is that for an offensive line and an offense as a whole?
We knew the elements were going to play a huge factor in the game plan of this game. I think every person, there's always one person on each play, and there's plenty where it was me today, where the run game, all 11 guys need to be doing their job and straining. And, I thought the defense played admirably, and we like, Thad said, we didn't do well enough in the red zone. And, plenty of opportunities to bail our defense out, who I thought played a tremendous game. That's all you can really say.
When you say shooting yourselves in the foot, I'm just interested in you expanding on that answer. I mean, it seems like more often than not, or far too often, you guys were losing the battle at the line of scrimmage. But does it involve more than that?
Yeah. I think there's it definitely starts with the line of scrimmage. If you're being honest, in the run game, you got to move your guy. You got to create lanes for the running back. And then there's maybe just communication, where to go, what to do. And so there's little intricacies in each play. Like you said, in the run game, you need to move your guys. And we didn't do a good enough job of that today.
Sorry, Dawson, it looked like you had that one seam down at the scoreboard end late. It looked like Josh just threw it early for you hadn't come free yet and the ball was already out and past you. Is that just an example of the timing just being a hair off tonight in instances?
Yeah, I'm just going to have to see it on film. There's several number of things that could affect timing. But, you know, it's just something we're going to have to look at tomorrow and get fixed.
Hey, Mitch, since Kansas City, you're 3-4. Are you surprised how this has kind of spiraled the way it has the last 2 months, really?
Yeah, I mean, you don't plan on losing games. You don't. It's not part of the gig, right? You know, I think that kind of question answers itself, right? You don't plan on it, and you got to figure out what's wrong. And you know, now it's the time of season where, you know, not that it doesn't early on in the season, but you know, once November and December hits, this is crunch time. So we understand the implications of this game. We understand the magnitude of what this meant and this loss meant. So it's not lost on us. We understand that we have a lot of work to do to put ourselves in a position where we think this team can be. And it starts with looking intrinsically and going from there.